Hey, it's your favorite corruption fighter, Indian River County, Michael C. Marsh, also known as Vero Marsh. So, tonight, without further ado, we will have part one of our internal affairs from one of my favorites at Internal Affairs, good old Leroy, the baddest detective in the whole damn town. So, let me give you a little backstory real quick. You can't hear me, Sean? Damn, Sean. So, back in the day, I had a good friend. We're going to call this friend Hector, because we're protecting Hector. So when you hear and watch this video, you're going to hear certain parts get bleeped out there, because Hector can no longer be friends with me because I am a known criminal. Yeah, that's what your Internal Affairs Sergeant Abalo had to say about me. So as far as the sound goes, wait until I play the video and let me know if you can hear the video. But I'm going to give a quick little synopsis on the backstory real quick. So Hector, my friend, my best friend at the time, he was an employee for over a decade at the Indian River County Sheriff's Office. So one day, an individual decided to say that Hector was giving me information. He was disseminating confidential personal information to that damn Michael Marsh. So they did the investigation. They took everything, his laptop, cell phone, told him, don't you dare talk to Michael Marsh. And the investigation came back that everything was unfounded except for two policies they claimed that he violated, which it's a little bit suspicious that he didn't access no David database for them to force him to resign. He wasn't terminated. Basically, a letter was prepared all ready for him and said, hey, Hector, sign on the dotted line, because if you don't, you will lose all your vacation. And so Hector pondered and was like, well, I don't want to lose all this money. I didn't do anything, but if this is what I got to do. So he was forced to resign. Now, the Internal Affairs investigation will show that Michael C. Marsh was all through this investigation. See, we here at Team Success, the End Corruption Indian River County, is going to post all 138 pages of that Internal Affairs investigation, where you will see that Michael Marsh is referenced throughout it. So you would think I would be a witness, right? Oh no, not a witness. So we'll get back to some of the backstory later, because I know some of my friends who are watching, who I asked to check on the sound, don't want to hear me ramble for the next 30 minutes. So if y'all can tell me real quick if you can hear. Now, right here, we got Michael C. Marsh over in Internal Affairs. Now this, come on, man, this is exclusive. This is what the office of Detective Leroy Smith looks like. Now, it's a hot office. I really feel bad for Leroy, because that is one hot behind little mobile home that they got him trapped in for however many hours a day. So let's play the video. Tell me if y'all can hear the video.
Alright, it's recording right now. Alright. Today's date is Thursday, August 11th, 2016. The time is approximately 9:27 a.m. My name is Detective Leroy Smith of the Indian River County Sheriff's Office. Present with me is Mr. Michael Marsh, who has requested this meeting to give a statement that he wanted recording. Good morning, Mr. Marsh.
Good morning.
All right, you raise your right hand?
Yes, sir.
Do you swear that the testimony you're about to give to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir, I do.
All right, now at your request, we're here this morning, and go right ahead.
Just to make sure, not because of you, but because this agency I don't trust, it is okay that I am recording this.
They're right here. It's public. It's already public information anyway.
Okay. I'm here today for a couple of different reasons. The first one is Sergeant Aballo, who conducted not only my investigation, but also has tainted my investigation now on the investigation I have against Lacey Thomas, Sergeant Pierce, as well as Deputy Buffington. The reason I state this is because, first off, did you get a chance to look at the internal affairs? Did you at least get a chance to look at it, the IA report that I asked Sergeant Aballo to forward you?
Yes.
Do you see where I'm referenced as a criminal, as well as someone who needs to be reformed, as well as someone who should not?
Okay. Well, let me clear up something. Is this in addition to the complaint that you've already filed?
Additional to the complaint that I filed.
Is this statement you're giving? What is the purpose of this statement?
The purpose of this statement is to show that my investigation has been tainted, it's been biased, as well as there's no neutrality from Sergeant Aballo, and I need this to be recorded because if magically this is not sustained, I want it to be to where I came forward. When there's an IA report, it makes reference to me numerous times.
Okay.
And
well, let me ask you a couple of questions.
Sure.
Demonstrate to me how I'm the investigator, right?
Mm-hmm.
How is it tainted and it's not concluded? It's what I don't understand.
You didn't originate this investigation. Sergeant Aballo took it.
No, that's not the point. I'm the investigator, though. I'm the one that's going to look at all of the facts, and I'm going to render a conclusion. How did Sergeant Aballo taint the investigation that I'm doing? That's what I need you to articulate to me.
Well, I feel Sergeant Aballo already had a preconceived notion, should have never even took my report from the beginning. If he personally had a bias against me, this should have got came directly to you. It didn't come to you until I requested the IA report. I realized, wait a second. So let me ask you that. Why are you now presiding over my case?
Because I'm the available investigator. Very simple.
But don't you, I find it a little odd that as soon as I request an IA report.
Go ahead. Make your statement.
Okay.
Go ahead and make your statement because I am the unbiased, available investigator assigned to your case, but you saying you're going to show his bias. Go right ahead.
Yeah, the bias is Sergeant Aballo sat down with me, informed me that he was neutral, unbeknownst to me, just weeks prior or days prior, an investigation concludes. He should have never even took my statement. If anything, I have no problem with you being now this fact finder. I feel, how can you get a report that all of a sudden was tainted from the beginning? It should have never been in Sergeant Aballo's hands from the get-go. Also, I was never called in on that investigation, but yet my name is throughout the entire report. And I have a problem with that when I mention it as a witness, but Internal Affairs never calls me. Now, you aren't in, that I know of, you're not in that investigation. Sergeant Aballo should have never touched anything to do with Michael Marsh, knowing he does not like Michael Marsh. I do not support this agency. Listen, I don't support this agency. How do you speak on a regular civilian? It doesn't matter who I am. If I'm an activist, listen, if Daryl Rivers gets in, I'll come support this agency. But you know something? I have a problem with being called a criminal. Did someone do a background check on me? Because that's illegal. These are questions I have. Also, I'm being threatened by a deputy that I can't record. I don't know what the problem with this agency has with me. I want to be treated fairly. I don't know you. Hopefully you don't know me. I know of you. And I hope that you are genuinely a fact finder. But Sergeant Aballo sold me the same dream. So you have to understand where my frustration is coming from. I'm being called a criminal. Based on what? Based on what? And all these are questions that I have. He should have never touched this investigation from the beginning. He knew he could not be impartial. Why take my statement? Why question? And also, I want the things in black and white. And magically now, Deputy Lacey Thomas never put into evidence the magical CD. January, it gets put into evidence. I find that. Why is Meyer? Why? Because the sheriff's office scared him. That's why. But they can't scare me. They can't scare me. And I'm not going to allow myself to be intimidated. And when I send an email with a video to Sheriff Laura himself, this is a sheriff? I'm being threatened by a cop, by a deputy. If I record, I'm going to go to jail. So this statement today is because I'm being intimidated by this agency. And I want it to stop. I want to be treated fairly. And I'm sorry that you're the one that has to hear this. But if you read that like I read that, and I understand your stance, however, you work for Internal Affairs. My next step is to feel that no one here can give me an unbiased investigation. Does Florida Department of Law Enforcement need to handle it because Sheriff Flora doesn't like Michael Marsh? Because that's really where I'm looking at this right now. I'm looking at it because if I write my sheriff, no matter who I am, no matter if I put on, I can't stomach Sheriff Flora, it doesn't matter. He's here to serve all of us, no matter who we are. I should not be threatened with a felony because I record a deputy sheriff and then I send it to the sheriff and I get no response. See, I have another complaint right now that I want to go forward with, but I don't want Sergeant Ball to touch anything affiliated with Michael Marsh ever again. And yes, I do have hope that you will be neutral, but I heard this from Sergeant Ball. Who allowed him, knowing, listen, there's no secret, this agency has a problem with me. It's in black and white now. I'm a known criminal. Based on what? Do you know if I'm a criminal? How does Sergeant Ball know I'm a criminal? How? This is not right. This was an investigation that was tainted from the beginning. If it came directly to you, we wouldn't be having this conversation. But I have questions. I want someone to answer them. So I want to know who answered them. Who allowed Sergeant Ball to even touch this investigation? How is he able to talk so candidly that they don't like me here? Is that true? Does this sheriff's office dislike Michael Marsh? Or is this Sergeant Ball's opinion himself? That's my question. And that's a question I pose to you. If you're the one that's the fact finder now, I want to know, does this agency have a problem with me?
Go ahead and make a statement.
Well, I'm asking you a question. And I'm asking you as well as being recorded.
But I can't give you subjective answers. I'm letting you make a statement. I don't know. I have no answers for your question.
But you yourself are not biased against me. You can answer that.
Yes.
Okay. Who can take care of the fact that I'm being referenced? Now, you got a chance to read it. All these comments. Who can help me with that? Because it's not right, Mr. Leroy. It is not right that I made reference to that. At all. I mean, seriously. If this was one of your family members, and this is Sergeant Ball, you wouldn't like that. I take this very personally. This is my reputation. Be reformed. I have 5 degrees. Be reformed. I'm one half of a company that sells body cameras. I work hand in hand with law enforcement in Palm Beach County. And I also, I'm anti-law enforcement? By far, I'm not anti-law enforcement. I wouldn't be out here marching with Darrell Rivers if that was the point. I have a problem with corruption, and I have a problem with being treated indifferently. And I want it to stop. That's all I want. I want someone to genuinely say, you know what? I don't know who you are. I don't care who you are. And if that's who you are, then I'm fine with this investigation. But there needs to be a complaint put in, and I need to know the proper way of doing it, because Sergeant Ball should have never touched this. In my eyes, he tainted it from the beginning. I don't know what was shared with you. You know, and I just don't feel that this can be something that can be unbiased.
Okay.
And I believe I have good reasoning. I was never called in on that investigation, but I made reference to countless number of times. Why? Because I would have came in and 10 different allegations, but 2 are sustained by Sergeant Ball. We got Deputy Rodriguez still working at the courthouse. How does that work out? Do we just pick and choose what IA is going to be sustained and which ones aren't? Because I got the records. Many of us have the records. There's many reports that do not get sustained around here. Why was this investigation? My ex-wife was forced to come forward. I want to know who forced her. In black and white, it says she didn't want to comply no longer. We called her numerous times. She never answered. She makes allegations that are false to Sergeant Bob that could be proven. But we never go after her because, in the words of Sergeant Pierce, she is a domestic violence victim. And we don't lock up domestic violence victims here at the Sheriff's Office. Really? So Michael Marsh is never a victim? And let me explain where this frustration comes from so you do realize. 4 years ago, I went to this auction, the Sheriff's Office auction. This is before I had any idea who Sheriff Lord even was. My prop stolen from this auction. Now you would think, there's a jail here. There's cameras everywhere, right? No, there's not. Up until recently, and Sergeant Ball hasn't told me yet, there wasn't even cameras at the administration building until I'm all over Facebook saying, this camera don't work, this one don't work. Every public records request that I've done shows me that these cameras weren't working. But back to the auction. God bless you. At that auction, I made a report, and I said, listen, this is easy. Go look at the cameras. You'll see who stole the pallets of computers in towers. Mr. Marsh, we don't have cameras here. What? This is a jail. Didn't y'all just have some people break out? Are you kidding me right now? I went all the way up to good old boy Major Don Smith himself and was told, Mr. Marsh, there's no cameras. And I said, I want to have a meeting with my sheriff because Why not? You should be able to talk to your sheriff. He's an elected official. On contrary, they made it very difficult. Finally, when I did get in front of God of the county, he told me, Mr. Marsh, it's none of your business we have cameras. And what's your point? This is how I'm treated, this is how I'm spoken to. It doesn't matter what kind of activist I am. This is how you speak to me. That's why, as crazy as it sounds right now, that I feel I have to record this. It's because of the fact that if I can't trust my sheriff, then I feel it goes all the way down the ladder. But I know there's good here. Monique's one of the ones that are great here. So I know there's good ones here. But I have a problem being spoke to like that by my own sheriff. And when I send him an email, and I would like that to also be passed on to you, and I'll send it directly to you. When a deputy tells me you're committing a felony, Mr. Marsh, for recording me, this is not a traffic stop. You can't record me. And that's another question I have. And I don't know if you can answer that now, or who can answer that. But per Glick versus KENNETH, and per the First and Fourth Amendment, I can record a public servant in any capacity in law enforcement. If I want to go to the courthouse and no sheriff's deputies as soon as I walk in the building, if I want to hold that camera and record it, I'm legally allowed. That's my rights. I was on these grounds, Mr. Smith. And good old boy Deputy Davis told me, give me your phone. My property was taken from me. However, my body camera was rolling. Good old boy Davis didn't know that. He thought he just had my phone from me. It's on YouTube, and it'll be sent to you. Why should I be treated like this? Listen, if I take a person's property right now, again, and they don't want me to take their property, that's a charge. Why can a deputy deprive me of my property, shut my phone down, tell me, let me look at your phone, and then threaten me with a felony charge? See, he didn't know that there was also, everywhere I go, and I want this on record too, everywhere I go I'm recorded. Period. Everything goes to a cloud storage. So even if they come after me and lock me up and take all my possessions, they will not touch my footage. But it's sad that I have to do that. Why do I have to have a car that has fully equipped cameras everywhere? Because I don't trust the sheriff's office. That's sad. That is very, very sad. All I want is, I want an email back from the sheriff. Listen, as much as he doesn't want to talk to me, I don't want to talk to him. You could be the new person that Michael Marsh deals with from here on out. I'm fine with that. But someone needs to tell me and answer these questions. I want a complaint against Sergeant Abalo. I want to know, and I want it on a recording. Am I allowed to record anybody from the sheriff's office during their scope of employment? I want that answered. I also want the Deputy Davis, I want it to come directly to you. I don't want Sergeant Abalo touching anything with my name on it anymore. And I want to know the proper protocol. That I want the complaint. I don't want just this complaint to go somewhere and Sheriff Flores says, yeah, whatever. No, I want it to be investigated. I want it to be fully investigated, and if this agency can't give me an unbiased, then let's get Florida Department of Law Enforcement, even though his buddies are there too, let's let them look at this. Because as nuts as it sounds, I want to be treated fairly, no matter who I am. And a criminal, I want to know, because I'll have access to it, who ran my record here? Who ran my record? I have 2 convictions, one conviction in this county. The other arrest is what we're here for now, because it was a false arrest that got thrown out. How dare Sergeant Abalo talk about my reputation? I need to be fully reformed. And what's the policy that no one at the sheriff's office could speak to a criminal? Seriously? So no one in your family right now is a criminal. Anyone in the sheriff's office has any family members that, because a criminal is even a petty theft. So everyone who works for the sheriff's office, if they have a family member, let's say have a petty theft charge.
So that was part 1. And just to go back to the backstory real quick. So this here that you're watching is Detective Leroy Smith. See, he doesn't like to make his way on my Facebook page. So he's making his way on my Facebook page. The weird thing about Leroy is, actually, I really don't have a problem with Mr. Smith there, because I realize that he's just a puppet of the higher-ups, of the good old boys that control him. Because I never really had a problem. He's never said anything about me. Now, Sergeant Abalo, on the other hand, which the internal affairs in black and white will show, Sergeant Abalo has slandered my name, and we will also get the videotapes, the audio tapes of when he also slanders my name. So the whole point of this internal affairs investigation was a few different reasons. For one, a Deputy Matthew Davis, who the investigation was sustained, they did find that he violated department policy when he forced me to turn over my phone, to shut my phone, to have it fully powered down, and to threaten me that I would go to jail for recording him. And also, I was not allowed to open my door to walk out of my car. But a sustained investigation through the sheriff's office is a complete joke. I mean, to this day, I still haven't got back what his reprimand was. All I got is a one sentence that he was counseled. Now, if I walked up to you and I forced you to give me your phone, to power down your phone, deprived you of your property, and then threaten you, okay, I can point out, I don't know how many different Florida state statutes that I would be violating. Why is it, okay, that this good old boy, Deputy Matthew Davis, was not charged criminally? Now, soon you will see on the Anti-Corruption site emails from the state attorney's office. The state attorney's office that said basically they don't see anything criminal. Also, you will also view a report from Florida Department of Law Enforcement. See, it's not enough to go to your local sheriff's office because, come on now, it's a joke. It's an absolute joke. They give you the chance to quit before you get terminated when you beat the hell out of a poor black man from Gifford, okay? So the internal affairs is a complete joke. But then you go to Florida Department of Law Enforcement, and they're even worse. They are even worse. The excuse that I got from Agent Coppola, and I guess I was supposed to feel happy because he told me, I spoke to Sergeant Joe Aballo, and he didn't say anything negative about you, Mr. Marsh. Really? I am shocked. You mean he didn't say I need to be reformed? Or you know, people shouldn't befriend me? And let me touch on that real quick. There is many employees of the Indian River County Sheriff's Office that have family members and associate with criminals. Criminals. All the way up to the highest of high. Associates with criminals. Now, Internal Affairs did not sustain if Michael Marsh was a known criminal. Actually, they found it to be unfounded. I have it in black and white. Michael Marsh is not a criminal, is what they put in black and white. So let's look at that for a minute. So there is an inner policy that says that you can't befriend any criminals. Well, I guess we're going to start reprimanding everyone on up, the highest of high at the Indian River County Sheriff's Office. Because I can prove that high-ranking officials with the Sheriff's Office befriend criminals. Now, I don't care because, personally, I don't see anything wrong with that. But they made a big deal when they went after my buddy for me being a criminal, and he befriended me. So, where's that policy? Now, my internal affairs journeys have been absolutely a waste of my breath, a waste of my time. However, they make for some really good enjoyment because later on, when you watch some of the other videos, you will hear that you must carry an identification with you at all times. Yes, your internal affairs says not driving. No, when you're walking, if you're even walking to the mailbox, you must carry ID. I guess that's a new law. That's that 2018 law that hasn't even taken place yet. So you'll hear that. The point is, for one, I want you to understand that it's a complete joke. Like I said in the video, I would find out who ran my name illegally. Now, I found out that Detective Aaron Scranton, he looked me up. So how come I can't get no response from the Sheriff's Office? Why did he look me up? Oh, Mr. Marsh, traffic related. Well, that narrows it down. Oh, it was traffic related. Oh, so there should be a report of when I was either pulled over, involved in a traffic accident, or something, right?
Where's the report? How come the report doesn't exist? How come I can't get a response? You know why? Because they don't care. They don't care. And you know, quite frankly, we the people, we're sick of it. We're absolutely sick of it. That's why I make sure individuals know how to get their Davids, put in their David request, because it's absolutely disgusting. Now, last couple things, and I won't bore you any longer, is a lot of people ask me, how did this crusade begin with me against the good old boys over there at the sheriff's office? Well, as you heard in the video, I went to an auction, and the sheriff's office auctions are right next to the jail. So you would think there would be cameras everywhere. Cameras everywhere at the jail. En contraire, the Indian River County Sheriff's Office, they didn't have cameras when my property was stolen. So I requested to have a sit down with your sheriff, God of the county himself. And he spoke to me like I was a little peasant, okay? A little peasant. Who am I to challenge the sheriff, okay? And I never forget his words, and I still can hear him to this day. I said, Sheriff, there's no cameras at that part of the jail. What's your point? Well, isn't it true? Because Major Don Smith has even confirmed there's no cameras. That's none of your business, Mr. Marsh. None of my business. So I decided to make it my business. So I went in front of one of the administration building, and I started looking up at the camera, and I was just, hey, y'all. Now, I should get that footage. Let me put a public records request. Did my little public records request. Can I have the footage from the administration building on January 12th from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m.? Mr. Marsh, we don't have footage from that time. That's weird. Okay, hold on. Can I have footage from the entire month of January? Mr. Marsh, we don't have to satisfy that request. So wait a second here. It's a little bit suspicious. Maybe these cameras don't work. Well, you know something? The cameras did not work. Now, after I got done going on Facebook, because they watch my Facebook. They love my Facebook. They love me. I think I'm going to start volunteering. I don't think anyone would approve the application, but I'm really thinking about it because I think I could be a real asset to the Indian River County Sheriff's Office. Things that make you say, So, cameras got put in right after I started mentioning it. So, my point is it is so easy between the dash cam footage that I've requested, that I've showed you, when I caught good old Craig Dimmer out there speeding, jail footage, where you see them get beat the hell out of inside the Indian River County Jail, these internal affairs reports where these deputies are just allowed to do whatever they want. They do whatever they want. As in the last video I made, how in the world is Aaron Scranton a detective? And this is not going to end. We're going to keep going up, up, and away. And body cameras. Eric Flowers, to this day, does not want to respond to me. You know, I think it's a lack of professionalism that I can't get a response from him. So we will send one more email, okay? And I'm going to let him know exactly how I feel. Because, to me, that's a lack of professionalism. Maybe Channel 5 can do a request and find out what research the Indian River County Sheriff's Office is doing on body cameras. Because I'm no one. But if we get Channel 5 to do an investigative report, see, here's the thing. We have numerous lawsuits against the Indian River County Sheriff's Office. We've had payouts, multiple payouts by the Indian River County Sheriff's Office. So let's just say, this is hypothetically, let's say a great news channel, let's just say it was called Channel 5, did an investigative report and just started requesting, how many current lawsuits do we have at the Indian River County Sheriff's Office? Okay, we got X amount. How much has been paid out in the last few years? Wow, that amount. Okay. How many problematic deputies that have had sustained violations has this happened at Indian River County Sheriff's Office? Wow, we have that too. So we have the trifecta here, okay? We got pending lawsuits, lawsuits that paid out. We have disciplinary that's sustained. That sounds like there's a need for body cams. Wow. But what has your sheriff said about body cameras? And we'll post that video. In 10 years, I think we'll all go to body cams. Well, guess what, Sheriff? In 10 years, you'll have probably 10 more lawsuits. So what are we waiting for? For us, the taxpayer, to keep paying these lawsuits? Multi-million dollars here and there? You know? What did you say, Drew? Sounds like you can get hired there. Listen, man, they only hire good old boys, man. So, and actually, it doesn't take much to get hired there. Like, literally, if you can breathe and you can count to 10, ain't no degree necessary, go ahead and apply. Now, Vero Beach Police Department, they require degrees. They got a bias-based policy on stops. That's a good agency. Sebastian Police Department, same thing. When's the last time you've heard a scandal break out at Sebastian Police Department? When? When's the last time? Literally in the last 5 years, they've had what? One incident, and you know what they did? They locked up one of their own. I applaud that. Vero Beach Police Department, just recently, they locked up 2 of their officers. Chief Curry does not tolerate that over there. So why does your sheriff, why does he tolerate bringing a problematic officer, making him a detective? This is not just a road deputy. This is a detective. Okay? A problematic detective. Why do we have that? Why, just last year, did we have a deputy who threatened to arrest someone for recording? That should be common knowledge that deputies can be recorded. Come on now. Okay? I don't understand it. But there's plenty good at the Indian River County Sheriff's Office, so I can't talk about the negative while also emphasizing the positive. Who knows policy at the Sheriff's Office? Oh, I'm glad you asked. Well, the idiotic comment about having to possess an ID, I asked Lieutenant Campbell that same question on Facebook Live. No, you don't have to carry an ID. I mean, if you're driving. So apparently Lieutenant Campbell realized that. I asked multiple other deputies, do I have to have my ID? No, Mr. Marsh. Recording. Okay? I sent an email to Lieutenant Hyde, who used to be inside the courthouse. What did Lieutenant Hyde say? He said exactly what the law states. Mr. Marsh, as long as you're not infringing on any type of investigation, you're free to record whatever you want. You can always record a member of law enforcement, okay, during the scope. And here's the beautiful part. Any government actor, okay, can be recorded. So, speaking of incompetency when it comes to the sheriff's office, the clerk of the courts, because I have fans over there as well, good and bad. Shouts out to all the good ones over at the courthouse. You know who you are. I can't mention you because I don't want you to get fired. But what happened to me at the courthouse? I was thrown out of the cashier's building for, you know what? Holding up my little camera. I spy with my little eye. And then the sergeant told me, no, Mr. Marsh, are you recording me? Guess what? The sergeant knows better now. He knows when Michael Marsh comes in the courthouse, I can and will record. Oh, yeah, I sure will. Shouts out to Deputy Newman, who has been very nice to Michael Marsh. Thank you there, Mr. Newman. Don't worry, I will be seeing you guys soon inside the courthouse because we're gonna do our little First Amendment audit real quick over at the Indian River County Courthouse because I am a fan of the Indian River County Courthouse, specifically my clerk of the circuit court. Oh yes, let me tell you. Not only is your sheriff a wonderful individual, but your clerk of the court, who doesn't know much about law, but I guess that's not a prerequisite. And the next time around, we'll make sure When he runs, he doesn't run unopposed. See, here's the problem, okay? Not just in Indian River. It happened in Palm Beach County, which your state attorney genius down there. We're letting these individuals run unopposed. And they were wondering why is this happening? Okay? We need to start getting individuals that qualify for these positions to get them to run. Period. Okay? If whatever money it takes to run, that's what we need to do. We need to end the corruption. Not just here. State Attorney's Office in Palm Beach County decided to look me up illegally too. And I've sent the email to them. They won't respond. Why doesn't anyone respond to me? I don't get it. I just want to talk. Election for sheriff will be 2020, Drew. 2020. Now, you're not going to raise $90,000 like God of our county has. But don't worry. It is still a possibility for you. And that's what I'm waiting for. Next year, because usually 2 years before, you hear who's running for sheriff. And I hope that we get a few qualified individuals to run. I believe Darrell Rivers was the man the last election to do it. The problem is, and let me be the first to say it, in case it hasn't been said already, we're not ready for a black sheriff yet in Indian River County. I mean, we're not. We're not. The racists and bigots and prejudiced individuals are still getting over the fact that we dealt with Obama for 2 years. So they're still reeling on that. So we're not quite ready yet. There's no reason that Darrell Rivers should not have won. But he didn't win. You know why? Because we're the good old boy system here. We're a good old boy system. That's exactly why. Case in point. Why is it that your sheriff can raise almost $90,000 for an election, but Deputy Chambliss, the reward is not even $5,000, or it is $5,000, but that is the money that his family also put up. So the community has not even raised $5,000. But wait a second, what's more important? A political election or a hero who was killed on the line of duty? Now, don't get me wrong. The problem is not just with law enforcement. The problem is also these individuals who don't speak up when they see crimes. So I'm 100% against just blaming the Indian River County Sheriff's Office that, oh, it's all... No. We need to start cleaning up our own damn communities first. You're going to tell me all these shootings that have been taking place in Gifford, no one knows anything? No. People know. No one wants to speak up. And I don't know if it's because it's the strained relationship. I don't know what it is. Let's read some comments here. I requested and paid for my data records. Can't seem to get them mailed to me. Well, Colleen, if those records that you requested were from Indian River County Sheriff's Office, let me know. And that David log can actually be emailed to you. All you got to do is send that request to publicrecordsrequest@ircsheriff.org. Tell them Michael Marsh sent you. Monique Jenkins is wonderful. Okay? I've done public records requests all through South Florida. Okay? There's no one quicker than Monique Jenkins. Shouts out to Monique Jenkins. So let me know what county that was, because not only do you do the David request locally, but you need to do it with Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles, because the David database, which is the Driver and Vehicle Identification Database, that's what that stands for, it is not a database that is owned by any type of law enforcement agency. They have access to it because they're law enforcement. So you do the David request locally. You ask for the last 3 years because they can only go back 3 years. But then Tallahassee can go back 7 years. So this is what you do. This is how you get them, because they've been known to do this before. You want to make sure the local one coincides with the one Tallahassee does, because maybe your local sheriff's office doesn't want you to know if you're being looked up, so you may not get that request. I know it's never happened. I'll make sure I put the Channel 5 story up where it did happen. But Tallahassee will go back 7 years, and you will get back every single time your name was hit on.
But it doesn't. But don't stop there. Then you do what they call a FOIA request, a Freedom of Information Act, with the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, and you ask for an FCIC, NCIC check. Okay? Literally, there's more databases than you have any idea. Okay? You're being looked up by so many different databases. And unless you know what to ask for, you will never, ever know. You won't. Okay? How would you know? Most people don't even know what a David request is at all, nor how to do one. But you know what? That's what is the key. We're going to start educating the community. You know, maybe we'll do a David seminar in front of the courthouse. I like that idea. See, I like doing little rallies, especially at courthouses, except for Palm Beach County, because they like to deny you to do anything near the courthouse. But Indian River County, I'm sure that they're a fan of Michael Marsh. Maybe they'll let me rent like a table or something. Yeah, maybe. It's a good idea. We should do like a little seminar. And let me give a quick disclaimer. I am not an attorney, but I've played one on Facebook. But I am a paralegal. So I have played and dabbled with the law just a little bit. So please don't misconstrue anything that I say as legal advice. This is just me rambling on some Google searches that I've done, and I've heard that I may be correct. Yes, because you never want to give the enemy a reason to come after you and lock you up. It's bad enough they have me under investigation probably now. However, but that's what we need to do, educate the community and do those type of requests. So anyways, the whole point of the video was, it's funny to me that inside Internal Affairs, they forced me to stop recording because they said I was on Facebook Live. How would they know if I was on Facebook Live? Maybe someone was watching me. Kind of like how the nosy eyes usually always watch these videos. See, they want to get me so bad or use something against me because they realize that one day they will see this face, this smiling face, inside of a courtroom. But it won't happen because all I'm doing is stating the truth, nothing but the truth, so help me God. But Leroy, who didn't want to make his way to my Facebook page, he was on The Price is Right years back. So what I don't understand is, how could someone tell me, I don't want to be on Facebook, Mr. Marsh? But you was on The Price is Right. You and Bob Barker were just high-fiving each other. But you don't want to make your way on my page. I mean, damn, Leroy. Some people actually like me out here. I was trying to make you a star. I wanted to make you Facebook famous, Leroy. I don't get it. But anyway, other than that little incident with Detective Smith, I didn't have any other problem. But when he stopped me from recording, that was a little issue. Because how do you know I was recording? You know, and in the video, you hear for yourself, Leroy said, oh, I figured that. You know, it was told to me by some important people, Leroy, that you was not part of that good old boy network there. But unfortunately, I understand that you work for the good old boy, so you can only do so much for Michael Marsh. But anyways, we're going to educate the community. We're going to hold them accountable. And this was part one of the Internal Affairs investigation. Now, eventually, one day, you will hear the complete story of what happened to my ex-friend there, who worked over a decade for the good old boys and was forced to resign, had the paper written, ready to go, and he had to sign on the dotted line. Why? Because he befriended Michael Marsh. That's a travesty of justice. However, one day, just one day, wouldn't it be weird if that same individual who was robbed of a job, maybe one day, not only will he get another job, but all that money that he could have been making by still working for that agency, some way, somehow, I could tell you, he will get that money back. It wasn't right what you guys did, Indian River County Sheriff's Office. It really wasn't. But what I've learned, the best way is to hitch in your pocketbook. Hitch in the pocketbook. Because guess what?
those Indian River County Sheriff's Office checks, they don't bounce. Oh no, they're good upon receipt. Lastly, we will go visit our Indian River County commissioners one more time. One more time. Because if we can't talk about body cameras off the record, let's talk about them on the record. Shall we? Oh, soon come. Eyes are coming. Eyes are coming. Until next time, everyone be safe. And I applaud those good deputies that work at the Indian River County Sheriff's Office. May you individuals be safe. Shouts out to my other two favorite agencies, the Vero Beach Police Department. Captain Kevin Martin over there is a great individual. And also shouts out to Sebastian Police Department, where Chief Morris just had her door wide open for team success and answered all my questions. So shouts out to those two agencies that are good agencies, because we must also point out the good when we talk about the bad. And until next time, Indian River County, it's I am, you are, we are, Team Success. Oh, shouts out to Sergeant Pierce too. Since we're not enemies no more, Sergeant Pierce, it's been a while. If I can catch up with you and get another Team Success, it would melt my heart, sir. Maybe for Father's Day, I can get you on my End Corruption with a quick little Team Success. That would really make my day. And the offer is still there. Whenever you want to talk off the record, let's talk about body cam, sir. Because Major Flowers won't talk to me. I just want someone to talk to from the Indian River County Sheriff's Office. Will someone please talk to me? I'm lonely. I'm really lonely. Kobe!
Hey Charlotte County, this is Charlotte County Cop Watch, and I wanted to explain what fair use is. You can use pieces of news articles if you're doing it for news reporting, you have commentary, and you're doing it for education purposes. So that's what fair use is, as you can see right here. Another reason why I wanted to make this video is to let you know I have just joined with Patreon. A nice thing with Patreon, I make no money on YouTube. They took the money away years ago. And so this is another way to give, and it's a nice thing too, because you can give monthly. You can give $1, $5, $10, whatever. I do 4 to 5 hours a day on trying to wake the sheeple up on how corrupt it is and different ways that you can fight the corruption. So Patreon is a way that you can do it, and then of course the old way is still there. Donate to Sheriff County Cop Watch with PayPal or credit card. So keep that in mind. 4 to 5 hours a day. I make no money, but the corruption happened to me and I'm sick of it, so I'm trying to wake people up. But my wife would love it if if we could get some help out there. There's 47,000 subscribers. Just think if each one of you subscribers just gave let's say actually yes, $1 a month. 47,000 subscribers gave $1 a month. That would be awesome. That's not going to happen. But anyways, that would be great if it did happen. But do the math in your head. Just think about it. Like I said, 4 to 5 hours a day. I get no money from YouTube. YouTube has gone nuts. You can't do anything anymore. They're taking the money away everywhere. So these are a couple different ways that you can still help out with all this time that I put in. And as you know, I'm in a special situation where, at least I can do it. 4 to 5 hours a day. We have a cleaning company during the day. That's what allows me to do this, and we're debt free. So this is my hobby. I don't go fishing and all that other crap. I try to save the world. So help me out to make the wife happy, man. In fact, if you guys did give $1 a day, and there was 47,000 of you, and you did it, and each of you gave $1, and that was every month, oh my God, yes, I could quit. I could start suing them. Another idea too that we have is, if I got some funds, we could actually contact everyone that has been ticketed and or arrested and put in jail and start sending them postcards to let them know we're here, and to see if everything went all right, and if it didn't, find out their story. So we could even do more investigations and more lawsuits. Lawsuits take money. So just think about that. You know, 47,000 of you so far right now. You know, $1 a day. I mean, $1 a month on Patreon, or $5 a month Patreon, 10, 20, whatever. Just do the math in your head. Help out. This is a lot of work every single day. Thanks.